congratulations to Florida State fans. All right? They took over Dublin. They showed up. They were loud. They continue to play the role of everyone is against us, everyone hates us. And I think that's where this team is right now. And for the record, I have no problem with that. I've always kind of appreciated the New York Yankees for being a despised team, the Montreal Canadiens, Duke basketball. Say what you want about Florida State, but there was a small contingency of people who felt sorry for them. And then the rest just said, screw that, right? And right now, Florida State is the most disliked university in college football. They created this themselves, okay? Again, I like it, all right? You're either with us or you're against us. And I always feel that way in athletics. So I'm not disappointed by that, but the Herb Streets and the Feinbaums and they are laughing right in your face, Florida State fans. And what is so difficult about this is that you did your job. You did. You went after it for 9 months. You cried. You complained. You bitched. You went after everyone. Frankly, I wish you were around in 96. I guess the older generation, Noles, doesn't give a crap because the 96 debacle, it would have been great to have this type of support. Now, I do understand there was no social media then, so maybe it's a little bit unfair. But in 96, you just took back it. You just sat back and took it. You just took the rematch and said, whatever. This time around, it still bothers you. And you bring up the fact, you were snubbed. And so what you've done is you've created a you against the world. And in that faction, right, in the omerta of Florida State Nation, it was kind of cool. The only problem, the coaches and the players didn't follow your lead. It was a very disappointing effort. It was a very selfish effort by Florida State on Saturday afternoon. The best way to defend this game, DJ Lundy, all you have to do is fall on the ball, okay? You are taught that every single day in practice. You want to crush Randy Shannon? Go ahead, crush him. They practice this every day. What did DJ Lundy do? He tried to pick up the ball and tried to do a scoop and score. There were 4 Florida State defensive players around the ball, yet an offensive lineman of Georgia Tech was able to get it back. After that was basically the only time in the entire game that you saw a pass rush by Patrick Payton and Marvin Jones Jr. and Haynes King made a phenomenal play. It changed the entire description of the football game. It was selfish, okay? You fall on the football. You fall on the football, it's a takeaway. And Florida State, but no. He tried to make a big play. This is the same guy who was going to Colorado. These defensive linemen all had Florida State by hostage, right? Oh, Patrick Payton's going to leave. Oh, Josh Farmer's going to leave. How much are you going to pay Marvin Jones Jr.? You know, is Darrell Jackson going to... That entire defensive line got Lamborghini trucks. That entire defensive line got paid, yet they didn't show up. The body language of Patrick Payton was deplorable. They didn't have one tackle for loss. They had one quarterback pressure. They were terrible. Individuals, not team football players. Omar Graham should never be allowed to take another snap in his career at Florida State. This man played 35 snaps at linebacker and didn't even register a tackle. He looks like he has never been coached before in his life. Offensively, what a drive. First drive, they averaged 9.6 yards a carry. Drive right down the field. Rest of the game, they averaged 3.2 yards. Okay? The arrogance of Mike Norvell, he used 5 different backs in the first quarter. It starts raining, so you bring in a guy with 4 feet like Cam Davis, and you throw him the football, a true freshman who played 4 games last year. You're moving the ball, yet you throw a screen pass to him, drops it, in the rain. Oh, my bad, he says. Pounds himself on the chest. My bad. What the hell's he doing in the game? He's a freshman, right? So it was a combination of arrogance and ignorance by Mike Norvell to, number one, take the game completely out of your quarterback's hands. What he said is, DJU, we have no confidence in you. We're going to run it on first down. We're going to run it on second down. He did miss, who was it? Ja'Kai Douglas on an underthrown ball. Missed him. Okay, frankly, in my opinion, Douglas should have come back and caught the ball. But still, it was an underthrow. The last, where is it? I got it right here. The last 24 carries, or this is second half numbers. Florida State ran it 24 times for 35 yards in the second half. Before the fourth down conversion on that final drive for Florida State, they ran a draw on 3rd and 9 from their own 21. They ran a draw. Florida State was getting bumped off the line of scrimmage the entire game, yet they continuously tried to run the football right at Georgia Tech. That's terrible game planning. And by the way, if you want to put this all on DJU, you don't know football, because what they did to him was awful. His confidence level right now is going to be in the tank. They didn't let him stretch it. They didn't let him throw the football downfield. And the only time he actually did make plays was during that final drive on 3rd and long and 4th and long. And what did the guy do? He completed the football when he had to. He made big-time plays. Last year, Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, Kalen DeLoach, Tatum Bethune, the front seven, those guys played like they were hungry. Those guys played like, I'm waiting for the NFL to call my name. Every snap, effort, every snap to the echo of the whistle. You look at Florida State's front seven on Saturday afternoon, they looked totally overfed. They looked like they had gotten paid and they could care less. I mean, the body language on Patrick Payton. I went back and forth today with a scout who I'll probably catch up with tomorrow. I'm wondering how much the draft stock on Patrick Payton drops in one nationally televised game because of his lack of effort. Okay? Taking plays off. Do you have any idea how hard it is to repair those particular words that are being said about you? That is almost the worst thing that you can have outside of terrible character, is being labeled the guy who takes plays off. Patrick Payton took plays off on Saturday. Patrick Payton, by the way, should not be out there against the run. They didn't even use that offensive line. They double-teamed the tackles. Patrick Payton was getting blown off the football by a tight end. And he wasn't even effective. This is a guy I'm bragging about. I'm telling you, he's a first-round talent. Last year, I actually said I thought he would be better than Jared Verse. Man, you can't compare the heart to Jared Verse and Patrick Payton. So this is a little bit of what you have now. And this is going to be frightening for a lot of teams. When you rely on the transfer portal and you have your own players threatening to hit the portal, you can't expect them to give you the effort like the homegrown players that you recruited, that you developed, and that you watch get better. That's today's football. It's happening all over the place, not only in Tallahassee, but you just can't expect the same results. And unfortunately for Florida State, that is what hurt them. Pro Football Focus had FSU with a overall mark of 59.6. That is the worst mark that they have had since they lost at Wake Forest in 2021. For the record, I still haven't gotten over that loss at Wake Forest in 2021. Their run defense was an even 50, according to Pro Football Focus. It was the worst since Notre Dame going back to the 2020 season. So there is so much to look at here. Okay? What a great job of coaching by Georgia Tech. I mean, they got gutted right out of the gate. And what did they do? They made adjustments. They realized early in that game that DJU was not going to throw the football downfield. So they creeped up linebackers. They creeped up their safeties. Georgia Tech played downhill defensive football after the first drive. Mike Norvell, with his ignorance, thought that he could do the exact same thing and run it and run it and run it and throw the football behind the. I mean, 7 snaps for Jalen Lucas. The guy was productive early on. And on a, what was it, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8? On a Georgia Tech blitz, you have the 165-pound Jalen Lucas in to pass protect? The guy weighs 165 pounds. If there was ever a guy who should have snuck out into the flat and caught a screen pass, it's Jalen. You're asking him to block a blitzing linebacker at 165 pounds? So it was a really bad game plan. On the flip side, just because you have a 4-2-5 defense doesn't mean you always have to use it if your opponent's not passing the ball. Why not take out a safety? Or why not creep up your safeties? Why not put in another linebacker? I'll tell you why, Ballou, because it's the worst linebacking core that perhaps they've ever had at Florida State. And that's true. That is frightening. They cannot recruit linebackers, and they don't have any right now on this football team. I don't know what they're going to do. Blake Nicholson, maybe? I just don't even know what to say as far as what they have as far as linebackers. But Cam Riley, maybe? I don't know. But even on the goal line, you had both tackles explode outside on the B gap, and you had your linebackers 4 yards into the end zone when the ball was on the one. I mean, who? Go back and watch it. Who diagrams plays like this? Well, Adam Fuller did on Saturday. So right now, there are a ton of problems. There really are. I want to apologize. I'm pretty connected with this program. I came here and told Florida State fans, this is the best offensive line since 2013. This defensive line has a chance to be better than what it was a year ago. I didn't lie. I'm just stupid, okay? What I saw was incorrect. And I'm not on the beat. I'm here. But I'm very close to people. And you develop sources and you develop go-tos, and there's so many different ways to get information, right? There just is. It's not only from the beat writers. There are several, there are family, there's several other ways where you are told what is going on with the program, good or bad. I'm not going to blame anyone else. I'll put it all on my shoulders, but I feel terrible for those same Florida State fans that were told they can run with any team in college football. That offensive line is going to barrel people off. That defensive line is ferocious. Folks, they were as soft as puppy poo. They were brutal at the line of scrimmage. And again, I want to apologize for that. My problem all along was wide receivers and whether or not they could come from behind and win. DJU proved it in that final drive. They did not help him out. They did not make him comfortable. They did not bring him along and throw some balls downfield where you could add some confidence. No. They dinked and dunked and ran and basically said, we're petrified of you. If you're going to do that, why not play Brock Glenn, right? Why not play a guy that at least has some escapability, that at least in situations can tuck and run? DJU is statuesque. He cannot get out of the pocket. That is a huge liability. It really is.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here. Thanks so much for checking out 1010XL Seminoles page. If you're looking for more college football content, you can head over to the Gators page, or if you want some professional football content, check out our 1010XL Jaguars page.